This week on the Full-Time Flippers Reselling Podcast.
You don't hear any weird noises, Dennis, this week?
It's crystal clear.
Okay.
Crystal clear.
Which I wouldn't sell crystal necessarily.
I have.
Not clear glass, but, you know.
Oh, I didn't know if we were talking about crystal glass or crystal the drug. Okay, I was confused.
Hi, I'm Chad the Quirky Picker. I'm a full-time reseller from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Hi everyone, I'm Denis the Free King Flipper. I'm a full-time reseller from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Join us each week as we discuss life as a full-time reseller. We will share our experiences, both the good and the not so good.
Learn from our expertise and our mistakes.
From sourcing to listing to shipping.
Customer interactions, we will cover it all.
This is the Full-Time Flippers
Reselling Podcast.
Welcome to the Full-Time Flippers Reselling Podcast. I am Chad the Quirky Picker, and I'm here with my co-host,
Denis the Free King Flipper. What does that say?
Why does Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella?
Bo drizzle. That is the best dad joke I could come up with. Love that one.
Anyhow, we are full-time resellers. We make our money reselling. We don't make money on clickbaity YouTube videos. We are not content creators. We do just a little bit occasionally, some shorts and some Instagram stuff, but we don't go out and purposely buy bad items because we think it will get lots of views. If we buy bad items, Dennis, we're losing money.
I will tell you that was a mistake and not to buy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've actually heard other YouTubers, they don't care. Like when they have a bad buy, it's like, this will be great for ratings. Mm-hmm. I'm like, if I have a bad buy, I lose money. So, and waste my time too. So that's why we like making this podcast, just because we get to learn what each other buys and sells and what not to buy and sell. And we just love talking about full-time reselling. We have a great video coming up today. Denis will try to stump me with his 2 truths and a lie. I don't think it's possible I'm going to get him. And we also have a special guest. Stefany Fuson will be joining us. This will be her podcasting debut. She said she's never been on a podcast before. So looking forward to having her on the show later with a bolo and an olo. But Denis, it's Friday. So how was your reselling week?
Well, we're recording Friday after the holiday. We just celebrated 4th of July, and normally, and this is what happened this week, my sales drop off right around the 3rd, and then the 4th is quiet, and then they start to go back up again. And that's kind of what happened. I wasn't really surprised. Mm-hmm. Luckily, my Monday, Tuesday were pretty decent. But yeah, you could definitely see my eBay sales really drop off. And then Poshmark has been very quiet as well. I don't know. People are at barbecues, they're at the beach, they're watching fireworks. It's a normal type of holiday midweek. I'm still in line to meet my quota, which is really all I care about. I don't care if, it all comes at the end or the beginning. But I have some good things to list this weekend. We have some yard sales this weekend. And just moving on. Just one of those average weeks. Wasn't great, wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I based my week from Monday midnight to Monday midnight because that's when your payouts are on eBay. And usually on Friday, I'm like, hey, I'm on pace. But then by Monday night, I'm just like, I'm not on pace. I didn't have a great weekend. I've had 3 weeks in a row that are much lower than what I need just to survive. And I'm like, this is either summer slowdown or it's the economy or it's eBay's hiding my ads. Who knows? I still have thoughts on that. I have a Bose system in my warehouse that I looked at today, and I'm like, well, why hasn't this sold yet? So I got on my store, and it is not in my store.
Not on there. It's
a subwoofer and 2 of the little cube speakers. And I'm like, okay, now I don't know. Does it work? Did I list it for parts? Did I list it as working? Did I test it? I have to go through it all again. Now it's going to tick me off because this happened to me before about some golf clubs. They weren't in my store, so I relisted them. They sold, And then like a week later, I went back and looked, and the golf clubs were back on my store. So eBay, and sometimes when you search your store, if you like, sometimes you could capitalize a word, and if only the first letter's capitalized, you ever notice that when you search, if you search Bose with all capital letters versus just the first letters capital, sometimes it won't show up. So I was trying all variations of the word Bose. I'm like, this has to be in my store. I didn't take it down.
And it wasn't.
So no. So I just relisted it today again.
And that's always makes me nervous. Like, do I have 2 listings for the same item? Because you don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a glitch in eBay or if anyone else experiences that. If you have, let me know how often this has happened to you. But this is like, yeah, it's kind of annoying when something just leaves your store and you didn't delete it.
Right.
Yeah. But on 4th of July, we had a development yard sale. It was kind of nice. I mean, there was a lot of people there because what else are you going to do on 7 o'clock on a holiday weekend like that? Because really the 4th of July holiday is like an afternoon evening holiday. So there was probably 20 homes, and a lot of families, like an older development, maybe 1960s, 70s houses with basements and garages, couples that have lived there for a long time, cleaning out the garages. Now, I didn't find a lot of stuff. I am noticing that the quality of resellable items here in June and now into July is decreasing dramatically at yard sales. I think your good stuff is April, May is when people, I noticed this last year in August. I think I went to yard sales every weekend in August, and I hardly bought anything to resell to make good money on. Like I was getting desperate at one point, buying anything I thought I could make a little bit of money on, but I don't like to buy that way. I want to be a little more pickier, and I'm just finding the yard sales right now are I'm struggling to fill up half my trunk. But I only maybe bought 6 or 7 things on 4th of July, which is not normal.
That's not
especially
good.
Yeah, when a neighborhood is like that, older couples selling stuff they've had for a long time. Normally I'm doing pretty good, but let's move on to viewer mail. Share at least one viewer comment. Dennis, do you have a viewer comment you want to share with us?
This is a quick one, but I'm grateful for it. It comes from BAA Sports Angel, and they said, "I enjoy every episode." Well, thank you. That's what we're aiming to do,
right,
and I appreciate your comment, and I appreciate you tuning in to us.
Yeah. Let's move on to 2 truths and a lie. Each one of us shares 3 things about ourselves. 2 of them are true, and 1 is a lie. And we have to guess which one is the lie. Dennis, go for it.
All right. I have never seen the Grand Canyon. I have never owned a John Deere tractor, and I am turning 50 next week.
Repeat those, please.
I have never seen the Grand Canyon. I have never owned a John Deere tractor, and I am turning 50 next week.
I'm going to go with the John Deere. I don't. No, does a lawn tractor count? A lawnmower? You could have a John Deere lawnmower.
I should probably put that in there.
All right. So now I'm going to say the Grand Canyon. You haven't been to the Grand Canyon yet. Final answer.
What's that?
You said you've been to the Grand Canyon. That was 1, right?
I've never seen the Grand Canyon.
Oh, you've never seen it. So that means if it's the lie, you have seen the Grand Canyon. Yes, you've never seen it. I'm going with Grand Canyon.
Never seen the Grand Canyon.
Oh, man.
I've only been, how far west? Kansas City is as far as west as I've gone. I've never been on the West Coast or the Rockies.
All right.
Nice. We got to have a tally board like at the bottom.
Well, I think that's 3 for you. And what am I at?
And
3?
like 4 or 5.
No, I think I'm just at 3.
I've lost 3 in a row to you.
You got 1 right.
I have a feeling this one is going to be nasty.
Right. Okay.
You're smiling and laughing, so yes, this is not going to be easy.
Okay. Number 1, I was the coach of a high school varsity bowling team. Number 2, I lived in Arizona for 2 years. And number 3, I drove a fork truck in a warehouse for 7 years.
You did not coach a bowling team. That's the lie.
That is true. I did coach a varsity bowling team for 2 years at a local high
You
school.
didn't live in Arizona?
I've never lived in Arizona. No.
Oh, man. That seems so real. Tell me about this.
So-
Varsity bowling team, high school varsity bowling team.
Yeah, when I first got married, my wife and I lived on the campus of a local high school. They have international students there. And so it was free housing and free electric, free everything. And it was working with like students from China and Africa and other students. And my wife has a lot of experience in working with internationals and refugees and stuff. So she got that job, and we just lived there for the first 2 years. And they wanted to start up a bowling team. And I'm like, hey, I used to bowl in a league. And so I applied for the job as a bowling coach, and I got it. The second year, I had a girl that was runner-up in the state. None of these kids had bowling experience, but in year 2, there was another high school in the area that had 2 bowlers that were probably some of the best bowlers in the whole state, and they didn't have a bowling team. So they merged with our school.
Okay.
So then the next year that bumped the school up to a higher league, more competitive. But the one kid averaged 230 a game, and I watched him bowl he bowled 300 in the tournament. And the girl bowled a 290 in regionals to get to go to state. So yeah. So yeah, I coached 2 amazing bowlers, and they knew more than I did. I couldn't teach them a thing. I could just teach kids, like, here's a YouTube video on how to bowl. That's kind of how I started off, but because I didn't know how to coach, but they were desperate for a coach, and I lived on campus, so I said I'll do it for fun, So it was kind of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Next up on the agenda: home runs and strikeouts. Your best and your worst sales of the week. Amaze us with your knowledge, Dennis.
Well, I think we talked about this on my Instagram. I did a post, and you and I said I definitely have to bring this up for this episode. This is when I sold stamps.
Ooh.
Of all things to sell, really.
I never would have guessed stamps.
This was free. Okay, so I did not go out and look for this, and it literally sat there because these things are heavy. They're probably about 8 or 9 pounds each. This is a company called Harris. Harris okay. Standard, Harris.
Okay.
And as you can see, this is what their albums look like, and they are for all over the world. And there's mine right here. See the 4 of them, and they were labeled like A through L, L through Z, and this is what they look like when they're partially full. See the colored stamps in here? Those are the ones the person has collected that match the picture behind it. And then the gray ones that's just the piece of paper that, you're supposed to look for that stamp. And they're all categorized through country. So this one here that's sold for only $39 is Japan through Romania. And then here's one, Russia to Zanzibar. So you could get, countries from all over the world. Somebody from Puerto Rico was asking questions about it. And I let him know that, most of these books are, I'd say, 30 to 40% full. And I took a bunch of pictures for them. And he said it's going to be for him and his 13 or 14-year-old, I forget, that's getting into stamp collecting.
Wow, I hope that's a trend.
It's wild. So I'm looking at, as you saw as I was scrolling through there, that brand and that particular book sells very well. So
okay.
I don't recommend you going out buying stamp collections, but if you find that one that says standard Harris Standard World stamps,
okay.
check it out. And yeah, that was an amazing pickup. My strikeout, and this just sold today, National Geographic VHS tapes, sealed. This was amazing. I'm like, this is awesome. Can't wait to sell these. They look great. There's a shark one, a dinosaur one. There's Air Force and Safari. I got them all 4 of them. They've been in my store for a year, and they sold for $3 plus shipping. I just took the offer. I said, here, just take these things. Not all VHS is great, and that's a great example. They were sealed, and I mean, I don't know, but you're going to get all those in DVD. You know, you could probably go to National Geographic Channel and watch them.
Disney,
yeah, exactly. So $3 plus shipping is what these sold for. I don't even have the listing up. You guys don't even want to see it. I'm glad they're gone, and I will not be buying that crap again. But I wouldn't call it a strikeout, but I don't know. I think I had them in there for like 15 plus shipping, 12, 10, 9, 7. And this person's like, would you do 3? I'm like, yes, I absolutely would.
I'd almost rather donate them, because what if they get returned? I mean, you're going to tell them to keep them, obviously, but then you're giving all your money back, and then you have to if they could say item not as described, and you have to return shipping or pay for it.
Right. Yeah.
And there comes a point where it's not worth selling something. Yeah, I know.
I think I did it I did it out of spite. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to donate you. I'm going to sell you for $3.
Yeah.
How does that feel? $3. So I don't know. I guess you can call it a swing and a miss on that one.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, my home run this week could have been nearly a strikeout. And I sold a Samsung home theater system DVD player. It's not a recorder, just a player. For $80. And the guy had ordered it. And then I like to show a video of it actually working, or a photo of it actually, something on the screen, so I can prove that it was actually working at one time. The guy bought it, and then he says, I want to cancel. He said, I only want to cancel temporarily because I need to make an address change. So my first thought was, man, can I just make the change for you? Because I don't think this is going to sell it for this much again. And what if he changes his mind or goes out and searches and finds a different one for $5 cheaper? Then I lost my sale. Right. Have you ever been tempted to do that when they say, can you cancel so I can change my address? I'm just like, I'll change it for you. But so I did.
I've done it.
Yeah. Okay. I canceled it. And then it was almost 3 days later, he reordered it. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. I thought for sure I lost the sale. And I'm like, darn it. I should have just changed it. So anyhow, I boxed it all up in a box, like, I don't know, 20 by 19 by 8 box. I put it in there, got it all wrapped up, put it on my cart to get ready to ship it. And then I started listing things in the afternoon, and something I listed, I'm like, hey, I'm going to put that over there where the DVD player was, on the same shelf, because now I have space for it. And when I walk over there, I look and I'm like, wait a minute, it's still here. I'm like, what did I box up? So I went into my my active listings and searched by my SKU and searched my shelf, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I boxed up a DVD recorder that's worth more money. So I almost shipped the guy a DVD recorder. They were sitting side by side, both had the remote control sitting on top of them. I usually put all my electronics on edge, stand them upright, and just go across the shelf. So I grabbed the wrong item, boxed it all up. And had I not wanted to put something on that shelf, I would have shipped the DVD burner instead of this. So it was almost a double strikeout. I almost lost a sale from an address change, and I almost shipped the wrong item. Then it would have got quite pricey. Having to return that, pay for return shipping, and then shipping it. So what I've noted, or if I ever ship the wrong item, which I've done this a couple times, is I don't offer to, I say, if you ship it back, all right, I'll pay for the shipping back, and then I'll ship you out your item, correct item. If they do a return, then when I get the item back, I'll tell them, go out and buy it from me again, so that they're paying the shipping back to them. Because if I just say, yeah, I'll ship you out the correct one tomorrow, I have to pay for that shipping. So I'm kind of, I don't know if that's, a little dishonest or not, but he gets all his money back. I guess it's not dishonest. I mean, it's not, is it a little shady? Like, should I go the extra mile and just pay for the shipping of the item, the correct item to the guy? Maybe. I could see the argument both ways if you wanted to do that. But my strikeout this week is 6 pounds of seashells, mixed seashells, sand dollars, and various other types of shells.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever tried to sell these. There are some seashells in larger shells that are worth maybe $10, $20. I've sold some shells for $20 before that I picked up at yard sales, but I don't remember how I got all this stuff. I'm assuming it was, I think I bought a huge tub of seashells, and because one of the shells was like 10 inches, it was big, and I still have it. I haven't even listed it yet. It's in a tub somewhere in my death pile. So I just sold off a bunch of these small shells to get rid of them, and I sold them for $5 plus shipping.
Nice.
So 6 pounds for $5. I think shipping was almost 10. But I don't know. I guess if you don't live by the ocean and you can find this stuff probably just in the sand on a daily basis. Maybe not sand dollars, but some of this stuff.
Some sand dollars, not the ones like that.
Okay. So that was my strikeout, seashells. I don't buy them anymore. And I don't sell, I'll sell what I have, but I'm not buying them anymore. Okay. Now we come to the segment of our show called Bolos and Nolos. One thing to be looking for and one thing that you wouldn't buy again. And Denis, this week we have a special guest joining us. Welcome to the show, Stefany Fuson. Did I get it right?
For government work.
Use.
It's good enough for government work. It's Fuson.
Fuson.
It's
Fuson.
almost rhymes with Houston, but
Fuson.
I'll forgive
Houston.
you.
Fuson, we have a problem. Got it.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. So Stefany, tell our guest a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I've been selling on eBay off and on since I think 2002, since before smartphones, before iPhones were sparkle in Steve Jobs' eyes. I've been selling at the level that I am right now for probably about 4 or 5 years. I sell on eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace when I'm allowed. And I like to sell mostly toys, but I will sell anything that's not alive.
So what happened with
that.
Facebook? You've been banned from Facebook?
Oh my
before,
gosh. Yes, several times because they're AI. I sell a lot of stuffed animals, plushes, and it keeps thinking that they are real animals.
Wow.
That's the technology we have in 2024 to tell a stuffed animal versus a fake dog or a real dog.
Yep.
So you have to leave the word stuff out of it or animal.
Well, it just goes by the picture, I think. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know
Yeah.
what happens, but it's happened multiple times. So here we are.
You cross list everything to Facebook or just certain things?
I cross list to every single platform that I can because you really just never know where your buyer is. I've sold the oddest things on Poshmark or Mercari, and for Facebook for porch pickup. I mean, you just really never know who's looking for what and where they're looking for it. And it only takes me like 2 minutes, if that, to cross list all those other platforms. So it's definitely worth it for me.
What software do you use? Why am I locked up? Am I locked up? Okay,
I use myself.
Yourself?
I cross list manually. If anybody's interested, I do have a video on my YouTube channel how I do cross list quickly and easily.
Cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
What you said you sell a lot of toys. That's my wheelhouse.
I like any kind of toys. I sell a lot of stuffed animals. That's kind of what I accidentally became known for on Instagram, was selling stuffed animals. That's kind of cooled off because I'm just not finding as many at the thrift stores anymore. I don't know if I know they're probably throwing them out, but I used to find bags full of them, like garbage bags full of them. And, it'd be crazy. You could sell something for $100 or $50 or whatever, and they're easy to list and ship. And the joy that people get out of finding a stuffed animal they had from when they were a kid is, it's fantastic. But I'll sell pretty much anything.
What stuffed animals? They're hit or miss for me. I either make absolutely nothing, or I'll make $30 and be like, oh wow, this is great, and I'll go out and I'll look for more of them. What's one of the better ones that you've sold? What I don't know, is it Disney stuff or?
The most valuable one that I've ever sold was I sold one last year for $1,000, and it was Stuffin's bear. It's a neon colored patchwork bear, and it's probably about, I don't know, 18 inches, 12 inches, something around there. And that sold for $1,000. And I do have a video on that also. But yeah, it's crazy what some go for. And that's something I'll probably never find again. Something else to look out for would be like Eden. That's Eden plush from like the 80s, 90s. Yeah. There's a lot of pastels like bears or clowns, stuff like that, like clown style bears. Unusual Disney characters, not like a Mickey Mouse or anything like that, but unusual side characters do well. Yeah, it really depends. It's just like selling stuffed animals, just like anything else, just like clothing or DVDs or whatever. Like 95% of it's junk, but there's enough of a success rate for me to keep doing it.
Gotcha. Yeah, so, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll look at them when I find them and just look at the tag, see if I recognize the brand. But you're right. I kind of stay away from Mickey and Minnie and all those variants, but I don't know. I always go to a yard sale and I do look through them real quick. I don't know what I'm looking for, but
that's
I know enough that's right. I know enough that if it's vintage or whatever. So cool.
Right. And
very
I
cool.
still look up everything too, because you really never know. Like that bear I was talking about earlier, it doesn't look like anything fantastic, and it's not a brand that you would have been, oh my God, I'm looking for this. It's just a certain style of something that has some weird cult following for it, I guess.
We did probably 2 or 3 episodes ago, maybe even more. But I researched Rushton, like the plastic face ones or the rubber face. I couldn't believe what they were selling for.
Yeah, those are crazy.
Wow. And
I've never personally found one to sell. I've seen them in antique stores, but I've never found one to sell.
Yeah, me neither. I've never found one. I never even knew about it until I was doing some research for the show. And I'm like, what is this? This is kind of creepy.
They are very creepy.
But people love them.
Creepy. Yeah.
So Dennis, share with us your BOLO and your NOLO.
So this one was a pretty unknown BOLO for me. I kind of didn't know what it was until I started doing a little more research. And let me bring up the slide here. Oh, where is it? There we go. Can you guys see that one? Mm-hmm. So I found a desk like an organizer, and it had this name on it, Waterman. I didn't know that they made pens. That's what they're known for. This was, I can't find it. I just sold it this week and I can't find it on the screen here, but they obviously you're going to look out for Parker, Cross, but this brand right here is nuts. Especially some of the fountain pens, $200, $300 for some of this stuff. Even regular pens. So I know people will find these at like an estate sale, maybe even a yard sale. Probably not a thrift store. I don't know. They probably throw these away. But I mean, this vintage one here for $255. Like, would you have stopped and looked this up? It's there. See, it says Waterman's right on the tip of it there. So, I know people will find these. This one's awesome. Like, it has the ink and everything. $400 something, best offer accepted. And it just goes on and on. This we're scrolling through. We're still on July 3rd here. I mean, it's wild. So sell through on this is nuts. Here's one of the 10 bids for this. This is a vintage one, unrestored for $1,100.
Wow,
that's crazy. So the thing I sold, and it had the name on it, was not a pen. It was actually a I don't even know what you call it. Kind of like a desk organizer, wooden square with the little racks so you could put like bills and envelopes and like a little pen thing. That was it. It was probably about a foot long by like 6 inches wide, and you know that, and it was beautiful wood. It had the Waterman logo on it, and I took an offer of like $75 for it, and that was at a yard sale.
Wow.
I don't think they knew what it was, which led to me looking up the name, which led to me looking at the pens, and wow, yeah. Anytime I see fountain pens, I'm definitely gonna be looking for that name on it. So Waterman is my bolo, Waterman pens, and my Nolo. Let me see if I can bring that one up. This is not controversial. It might be a little controversial, a little bit. Not controversial, but people are going to be like, oh, you know how there's like an exception to every rule.
Anything
right?
can be controversial.
Right. And it's like, you know, if I say, oh, don't buy this, and people are like, oh, what do you mean? I just picked those up, or blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm talking about. Crappy Wii games.
Oh, yeah.
And I even mixed in there DS, because I found these the other day. Especially Wii Fit 2, My Fitness, and then this game right here, My Word Coach. And of course, this one sold for $10 with free shipping. No, this is normally what they're going to sell for right here.
Right.
$4.29 with free shipping. I think you're losing money on this.
Oh, definitely.
That's 4 ounces.
Right.
That's got to be, I know DS games are about 4 ounces. Here you go. My Fitness Coach, $5.59 with free shipping. And that's going to be over 4 ounces. So it's going to be under 8 ounces. You're going to lose money on it. But yeah, the reason why I bring this up is here's my listing right here. Disney Sing It with My Word Coach. So both of them, $6 with free shipping. I might have made 80 cents.
Well,
And
congratulations.
So this is, thank you. Yeah, this is something I'm never going to pick up again. I usually get excited with video games. I love them. This right here, if you can see my cursor, this is the only way I would sell them in a lot with the board. And, you know, you're not making much money, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, the board alone it's a pain to ship, and they're heavy.
Yeah.
But normally you can get them for free. Like this is, I would do this exact same listing right here. We Fit Plus, My Fitness Coach with the board, $22. And you know, someone paid $8 shipping. No, so you're not going to make any money on this. The shipping alone is probably $18. Eek.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've never bought those Wii Fit boards whenever I see them at a yard sale.
no, I would
Those
never
were
buy one.
popular. Yeah, those were popular. I think during 2020, I sold a couple of those. But since then, you know, I see stacks of them at the thrift store now, literal stacks. I haven't picked one up in quite some time, probably 4 years also.
Yeah, so that's it. That's my Nolo. I'm not doing it. I'm not picking up the $3 video games. There's just no reason to do it, unless you kind of fill them in and mix them in with other games. But to actually go out and seek and buy that it's just a waste of your time. So that's what I got.
All right. Before I move on to Stefany, I want to share my screen here of something that I did sell this week. So the fountain pen. It's funny. You
Come on.
Yep.
This is not rehearsed. We did not do this.
And I just
that.
shipped it out today, actually. The guy had asked me several questions after he purchased it. He was making me nervous. Like, why is there this little black, oh man, this black ring in the middle? Shouldn't that cap fit better? And I'm like, oh no,
Oh yeah.
he's going to back out. But then he said, I did some research and realized they're all that way. So no worries. So it's got like a 24 or a 14 karat gold nib. I don't know what a nib is exactly. The tip, I guess.
It's the
fountain
end
tip.
where you write in.
Yeah. So I think I sold it for $50 plus shipping.
Very
Wow.
cool.
Yeah.
And what's the brand? Superior is the brand?
Superior. Yep. And this was this wasn't even $1. I bought a whole box of stuff at the estate sale for like $5. And this was just in the bottom of the box. Several
Sweet.
pens. I think I made at least $50 on the other 3 or 4 pens, and I have a couple more to go yet. So
Wow.
I had no idea it was worth that much. I'm like, cool, old pen. It's got to be worth something, and took my chance.
That's a good sell.
All right. Stefany, do you have a bolo and a nolo you want to share with us?
I do. This one's the first thing I'm going to say is not going to be my official bolo, but now that we're talking about pens, I want to mention something else that is in that pen category is pharmaceutical pens. So something that could have the drug name on the side of the pen. So there's like a regular ballpoint pen that could say Prozac or Lipitor or something like that. I've sold several of those. Just pharmaceutical items in general, I've had good luck with. It could be a stapler, some fuzzy dice, just random whatever. Pharmaceutical reps collect them, or I don't know. People collect those things in general. But that's not my official bolo. I'm going to stay with my plush theme here, and my official bolo is going to be realistic stuffed animals. So what I mean when I say that is like a stuffed animal that's pretty big sized, and it could be small, doesn't matter, but it's something that looks like an actual dog or an actual wolf or something like that. Last week, or I guess maybe it was last month, I sold a dog that was for $199.
Wow.
Yeah. There just looked like a dog sitting up. I think it was a Bernese Mountain Dog. I don't know if, vets use them to put on display, or if, your kid says, "Hey, Dad, I want a dog." Well, I got you a dog, and it's, a stuffed animal kind of thing. But yeah, look out for realistic stuffed animals. And it's one of those things that doesn't have to be a certain brand. It could be whatever. E.J. Douglas, Ditz, there's just different brands. If it looks like it's a real animal. So dogs and wolves particular are the ones that are pretty valuable.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because I would say, what was it, 4 or 5 episodes ago, Dennis, I shared about the Bernese Mountain Dog.
Oh, okay.
I'll share that. This thing was 64 inches.
Holy smokes.
Let's see here. This is the dog. I was $200 I sold it for.
Very, very good. Congratulations.
That's my picnic table. That thing is like, I paid, I think, $8 for it at a yard sale by my house. And I wasn't even going to buy it, but the lady's like, "You want that? You like that dog?" And I'm like, "Yeah," but I thought it would be like sentimental to her. She's like, "Yeah, when my dog died, my husband bought me this as a replacement." Ooh. And so then she said, "I'll sell it to you for $8." And I'm like, "Okay." And
very good.
Listed it for $250, sold it for $200. So yeah, realistic dog. That was funny that you mentioned that, but
yeah.
So how big was the one that you sold? Did you say?
Probably about 18 to 24 inches.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. It was one that was sitting up. He was more stiff. Yeah, he was pretty big size.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
What brand did you say it was?
I think it was E&J. I'd have to go back and look. I know I have it on my Instagram page. It's like not that far down.
Okay. That's what this one was, E&J, the one I sold.
Okay, very good.
So,
crazy.
What did you think?
Be on the lookout for E&J.
Or any realistic stuffed animals.
Does it matter the size?
The bigger the better in general, but no, I've sold smaller ones too, like Webkins. General Webkins is not a bolo, but some of them, like, they have a wolf that that is, and I sold that one last year for I think that was over $100 also. Wow. And those are smaller, but again, it had more of a realistic look to it. Melissa and Doug is another brand to look out for. Like Melissa and Doug, like tigers and lions. I've sold those before too, and they're very big. Those are things like you see at Rainforest Cafe and stuff like that. Yeah, they're really big.
Yeah. Wow. Where do you source them from? What do you mainly do? Thrift stores or?
I go to thrift stores, estate sales, not too many yard sales because they're not good around here. But yeah, most of the plush that I get is from the thrift store.
Okay. So you found that dog at a thrift store?
Yeah, I was at a thrift store.
Wow.
Crazy. I got to start looking at more plush.
Yeah, and you'll find, like, I'll look through a big pile of plush, and like I said, 95% of it is going to be junk, and you're going to go, "Why the heck am I digging in here?" And then you'll find that one thing, and it's just got to be something that you're interested in selling, just like anything else.
It's usually stuff I've sold before, and then I'll find it again because my eyes are already on it. Like the last one I did was Backyardigans,
Oh
the
yeah.
kids show, and then
Yeah.
it had a couple. You could get like a couple of them. They were only like 8-inch
Yeah,
plush.
like the Thai backyardigans. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, I
but
have
they were
some of
like
those right now.
that
So. Mm-hmm.
gone. So
Right, because again, that's a kid show that people might be watching, and they don't
Yeah.
make merchandise for it anymore.
Yeah.
So
it was like $20 for 2 of them. I think that's what they sold for. So
yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, you just
Mhm.
slip
Yeah.
it in a bag and you're done.
done. So easy to
Yeah.
ship.
Exactly. And
What
you don't have to
about
worry about it breaking.
What about a Nolo for you?
Okay, I'm gonna stay with the plush theme, and I guess we're gonna
Cool.
say this is controversial like yours, but it's gonna be Squishmallows. Those again were something that were really big 2020, even years ago before that. There's very few now that are worth picking up. Yeah, I have some in my store, but it used to be that you can pick them up left, right, and center, sell them $20, $25, $50 even. But now most of them are worth $2 to $3 because there are just too many out there. Like every store sells them now. Five Below, Walmart, Target, Walgreens, CVS, every single store you step into, they're like the Beanie Baby of today.
Mhm.
So they're just so diluted now, and they're just using the same characters over and over and over again. So there are exceptions, of course, just like your Wii games, but for the most part, there are no low. But you can look those up easy. Most of them do have a barcode on their tag that you could scan in the eBay app, and that'll have it come up real quick and easy.
Okay.
Or almost all of them will come up with Google Lens. So
I never got into them. Chad, did you buy any inside?
I bought a lot of stuff at an estate sale, and there was a few in there, not worth much. I did list them, and I think I eventually sold them, but it was like $5
yeah.
each. Every time I pick one up at a yard sale and look at it, I flip them over, and there's almost the stitchings ripping on a lot of them. Like if a kid used that at all, like I don't think they have longevity. They're fragile. The threading is fragile is what I'm noticing. So maybe because they are over made and they're also cheap.
Yes. Yeah, you can literally buy them at Five Below for like $5 for some of them now, like the 6-inch ones. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I never jumped in that. I saw that kind of trend coming because I have a 10-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
So I kind of watch what she's into, and then I try to see if it's, going to be the next big thing. And before I could even go and find some of these, it was already nuts. Like they were everywhere. And I'm like, I'm going to back off. I'm not going to jump in on that. And it was a very quick window. Like, oh, wow, everything's selling. And then bam.
That bingo. That's basically how it went. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my Nolo is, so last summer I was at a yard sale, and I found some Playmobil, a set of Playmobil toys in a box. It was a set. It was a train set. Now, how familiar are you with Playmobil toys?
Playmobil?
Mobile?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Mobile. There's no E at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been out for quite a long time.
Okay.
Or
yeah.
Geobra.
Like that. Yeah.
I sell the 70s stuff. 1978, I think, is a really popular year. But yeah,
Okay.
I do a lot of that stuff.
Well, I saw a train set, and they were selling it for $70, and I'm like, wow, $70. So I looked it up on eBay, and I had seen some sold comps for over $600 to $700.
Holy smokes.
So I bought this train set for $70, brought it home, tested it, spent a couple hours, setting it all up real nice, and it sold to a guy in France for, hold on. This is mine right here, I think. This is the one I sold. It's a Christmas RC train, 4035.
Cool.
It sold for $600 plus $104 shipping.
Wow.
I never knew Playmobil was worth that much. And that's not even the most expensive one that sold.
Wow.
Here's one that sold complete. Mine wasn't complete. It was missing just a couple things. One sold for $979. That's the highest one in the last 3 years. That was back in 2002.
That's
$895. And then mine is third at $600. Now, it was interesting that as soon as I realized how much this was worth and it sold, I'm like, I was at an estate sale maybe a year before, and I bought a suitcase full of Playmobil toys. Never took them out of the suitcase because I'm like, this is overwhelming to me. Like, I just thought it was miscellaneous pieces. But I'm like, now I think I'm actually going to pull this out of the suitcase and see what I have. So me and my 12-year-old son, I think he was probably 11 at the time, we started I figured out from a few pieces what set it was. It was the Kings and Knights medieval castle. Let's see if I can find a picture of one. This is what it looked like, but this isn't mine. I can't find mine. But I identified it and we started putting it together, and it had all the pieces there except for just a few minifigs. Just small things were missing, but everything major was there. And as you can see, $369 here for a complete one, $225. So as I was doing my research, I'm like, I think these are like two of the more expensive play. Is it mobile? I have to call it mobile. Is that right?
No, I think it is Playmobil, but I always called it in my head Playmobil. I have no idea why, even though there's no E. I don't know. It's so money.
Well, I just learned that some of these sets, this was 1993. I don't know what, 1997 was the train. So 1990s Playmobil, some of these sets have some good money. If you just type in Playmobil on like Terapeak and then sort high to low, you're going to see there's some train sets that are selling pretty high. Let me go up at this here.
I think the Western sets I've had good luck with as well. Like the Frontier, they have like the forts and like all the cowboys and soldiers, that type of stuff. I've had really good luck. But the medieval castle stuff always sells very well. Even if I just throw it all into a big lot and just take pictures of all the stuff and then just let it go. And parts to that castle. So like walls, you stack up like 5 or 6 different pieces of walls, the top piece, the corner piece, the little turrets. I've had a whole Rubbermaid container just filled with random pieces, and I'm just pulling them all out. Made a few $100s on it. So it's,
Yeah. Sometimes things are worth more parted out than they are as the whole set, because somebody might be missing that wall and that's all they need. So I've had good luck selling things parted out like that. Yeah. It does take a lot of time though to look everything up though. So it's one of those time versus money scenarios.
My NOLO is electronic devices like AM/FM radios that have iPod docks on top of them or somewhere attached to them. I'm finding you see them all over the place. Like they had old iPhones that you'd put on top of, and these were like things you bought at Walmart. Here's one I just recently sold for $6.60, Baltic Lansing. And I think it has an iPod dock there on the top, as you can see. Yeah. These are a dime a dozen. They probably had I don't know what it sold for brand new, maybe $30, $40, but some of the radios and clocks and stuff look cool, like as a clock, but your phone's not going to connect to it anymore. So nobody wants these. It's like cell phone cases. Nobody wants them anymore. So I just pass over any electronics that has a dock on it built in.
Yeah, I think the exception would be something like Bose. I sold some Bose ones before. Yeah. Even if they don't have all the parts, people will buy that. But that's a true exception also.
That's it. That, and they make Klipsch makes one. It's kind of like a curved, just the speaker with the little dock on it. I've sold those in the past because it has an auxiliary, like a 3.5. But those two brands are the only ones I would buy. But like you're showing, the Altec Lansing, the Walmart brands. Nope. Garbage.
Yep.
So you said you're full-time now?
Yeah, more or less. Monday through Friday, I work usually about 4 hours, and then Saturdays usually when I go do thrifting, and that can be 4 hours to whenever I get done, sometimes 8 hours. Now it sounds like I work a lot, but typically I will take a day off during the weekday also, and there's just no set day. It's like depends on what the kids got going on. Does someone need to go to the doctor or something like that?
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
but yeah, I work pretty part-time, and I do have 2 kids. They're 13 and 15.
Okay. So you're busy.
Yeah.
How did you get into reselling? Was it something you liked doing, fell into, or?
I kind of fell into it. I got started when eBay was, in its infancy. It was 2001, 2002, somewhere along that lines. And again, like I said, this is before, digital cameras even. And I got started selling McDonald's toys because I figured out that I can put them on my parents' flatbed scanner, and I could scan that in. That way I could have a picture on my listing. And back then shipping was a lot cheaper, then too. You can send out something like that for, like $1 or something. And
Wow.
I've just kind of done eBay off and on, like I said, for the last, over 20 years, off and on as I needed it. It's paid for vacations, it's paid for my car, it's helped buy this house, just as I needed, basically.
Mhm.
But basically at this level, I list 15 items Monday through Friday is my goal. 15 items each day, Monday through Friday. That's what I try to do right now. And that doesn't always happen, but that's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my magic number too. 15 is for some reason my magic number. And that's new inventory every day.
That's about all I can handle, I think, per day. Yeah, within the 4 hours that I have to work, that's all I can realistically get done between, cleaning it, looking stuff up, and, taking pictures. I try to do a clean 15 every single day, like start to finish. So,
Nice.
And that includes all the cross listing.
Right, all the cross listing. And that honestly, that only takes like a minute to 2 per item to do. So if I'm doing 15 items, let's call it 2 minutes per item. That's only an extra 30 minutes to list total.
And you don't start on eBay and then, like, if it doesn't sell on eBay in a couple days and cross list everything.
I do it all at once. Yeah, I do it all at once. That's the easiest for me. And like I said, I do have a technique that I do. It's copy and paste. And I do have a video on my YouTube how I do that. And I even timed it out, how long it takes me. And so it's less than 2 minutes. So just a certain way to stack your windows on your screen and copy and paste. Then there's really not a whole lot to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I use my laptop. That's the quickest way for me to list.
Okay. Yeah, if you can do it that quickly, whatever works for you, for sure.
Right.
This is what...
that one.
This is the one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Cool. I gotta definitely check that out. Because I do eBay, Poshmark, some Mercari. I'm really not psyched with the changes they've made. And Marketplace, just local pickup. I don't ship on Marketplace. So a lot of my clothing I will actually list on, obviously, Poshmark, but then I'll cross-list on eBay, and sometimes it sells on eBay before it does on Posh. It's really weird, like you were saying. It depends on who's shopping at, for what item on what platform. And sometimes I'll even have it more expensive on one than the other, and they'll buy the more expensive one when they could have just gone to the other platform and bought it for cheaper. No rhyme or reason.
I do that too.
Yeah.
I mark everything up on Poshmark $5 to $10, depending on what it is, because they take more of a fee out. And then the buyers on Poshmark usually like to come in with a real low offer. So then I'll obviously just counter. That gives you a little more room. But yeah, Poshmark does take out more than eBay. So I try to account for that.
Yep, I do the same.
Yeah. Now with Mercari, and like you were saying there a second ago, you don't like the changes, but I personally haven't had any issues with it. I still list. I think I sold 3 items there that I shipped out today. So you just, never know. Is it my top selling platform? No, but it's, it's number 2 for me. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's just Poshmark for me is just a little extra money.
Yeah.
If eBay was slow, then I'll list a bunch of clothes and like that item there. I haven't listed yet, but I know it'll sell. It's some of that type of stuff I'll go through. I love selling shoes. It's easy. They're easy to photograph, and I box them up, send them out. Poshmark is amazing because you can use all USPS boxes that you can get for free. I love that. I
love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
So there's every platform has good things and kind of
bingo.
So I don't know. I guess what you're saying and I'm saying as well is good advice. Cross list, definitely cross list. Put that
Yeah.
same item in multiple eyeballs, and you can't just have all your eggs in one basket.
Right,
I
right.
learned
It's
that.
just like Walmart and Target exist for a reason. They all sell the same
Yep.
things. Target might have it for more, but this where that person's at that exact moment in time.
Yep, agreed.
I don't
Any
do it.
what's that? You don't
I don't
cross
do
list
it.
at all?
No, but I mean, I'm assuming like you're doing a lot of clothing and plush. Is that predominantly what you sell?
I don't do a whole lot of clothing. Actually, I hate doing clothing. I do
Oh, okay.
some clothing, but I don't like to measure it and worry about if there's a stain on it and all that other
Mhm.
stuff. I know a lot of people love it. It's just not for me. I mean, I do have this mannequin back here, but I don't use her that much. I like to do toys, stuffed animals. I'll do electronics. I'll take things apart. Now that's something else I'm doing. Like you find a vacuum and I'll take it apart and sell the parts off of it. Yeah, I don't try to do a lot of clothes. It's just not for me.
Okay. So you do electronics, big electronics or small, like stereo
Like
systems?
VCRs, radios, old-fashioned CD players, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
That's
find a ton of those, but I will sell them.
Mm-hmm. And you say your yard sales aren't good there.
No, unless you want to go where it's a card table and it's filled with Dollar General merchandise. No,
Mhm.
the yard sales are not great where I'm at. Just the general area of where I'm at is not good for yard sale. And also what's available. Like we have Walmart,
Mhm.
we don't have those high-end stores. Like, okay, you got that Lily Pulitzer behind you. We're not going to have Anthropology or Johnny Was or anything like that. We don't have any of those stores anywhere near us. So like the fanciest thing we have is Ann Taylor Loft. I mean, that gives you an idea of what's available clothing wise here. So, but yeah, no, I like to do estate sales. When I go to estate sales, I try to go on their half off day, which is Saturdays. And it's real hit and miss because, a lot of times they're asking eBay prices. So you're really scrounging around looking to see what's missed.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes that's the stuff in the bathroom or the toys or games and stuff like that. The less obvious things.
Right.
Yeah. Chad's the big estate sale guy.
Oh,
He
yeah.
goes and you clean up at those things.
I do. There's a company in my area that has online estate sales.
Yeah.
And their job is clearing out a house. They have like a week to do it. So they list the top 250 things that they think are worth the most in an online auction.
Okay.
And so if you win anything in the auction, then you get the address of where the pickup is on a particular day. And when you show up to the pickup, they have what's called a cash and carry yards or garage sale. They'll just fill up maybe the garage of everything that they didn't sell at auction. So I just walk in and I'm like, I'm going to make a pile right over here in the corner. They all know me by first name. I'm really good friends with all of them. So I'm like, they'll even sometimes like say, hey, back there in the bedroom, there's some electronic stuff that we didn't get listed. And we knew you were going to be here like right away. So you could take a look at it. Because they know I buy almost everything that's electronic and the estate sale. So I'll fill my van up and I'm like, I haven't even spent $100 yet. Like
that's awesome.
Wow.
Sometimes
That's
$50.
incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. There's nothing like that here. I mean, there's estate sale auctions, but they're like individual things. And there could be like 1,000 items per auction. And which is sometimes it's nice. You have a lot to pick from. But then there's like 2 weeks that you have to look at everything. You can look everything up, which is good, but it's just overwhelming to go through a listing of 1,000 items.
Yeah, we have some of those too. But I've just got a good relationship with this one company that I use. So
very good.
All right. Well, thank you, Stefany, for joining us today.
Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And thanks for the lesson on plush. I will be looking out for some. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks. All right, moving on to customer service. Talk about your most interesting customer interactions from the last week. Dennis, what do you have?
I posted this on my Instagram this week because I got a kick out of it. A guy at 2:00 in the morning messaged me on eBay and said, if you're going to use my title for this book that I sold, at least give me some credit. Well, one, I can use any title I want. It's eBay owns that.
Right.
And two, how exactly do you want me to give you credit? What could I possibly do for you? I literally used what eBay wanted me to do. I searched an item. I hit sell similar. When I hit sell similar, that all populates. Everything comes up. I put my own pictures in. I didn't even use his pictures, but I left the title. He got all but hurt and messaged me again and said, you copied my title verbatim, even the tilde. And that cracked me up. I thought that was the funniest thing. The tilde? Really? That's what we're doing? So I just said, you don't own the title. eBay owns that. I didn't use your pictures. I used my own. And in fact, I did what eBay wanted me to do, and I did sell similar. I said, obviously you have too much time on your hands, block, and you're gone. That's it. I had my fun.
Was that an active listing or a sold listing?
Active.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like my title to be the exact same as somebody else's. I'll remove extra characters.
His was sold. Is that what you mean? His was sold. Mine is active.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, then what's the big deal?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You must have spent hours coming up with that. And
I only search sold listings. So I did sell similar because I'm like, oh, that one's sold, which is what I want mine to do. This is the title he used to sell his. This is what I want mine to do. So I'm like, what are you looking at? Like other listings to your way too much time. So I got a chuckle out of it. I posted his message on Instagram, and a lot of people commented like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what is he doing? 2:30 in the morning.
I might have been tempted. I might have been tempted to put in my description title words courtesy of user so and so, which I promptly blocked or something. Just that
would have been great. Hey, props go out to so and so for this beautiful title. That would have been great. Now, I have too much. I have too much things to do, and I don't have enough time. Where I don't know where this guy's getting his time from, but I thought it was funny. People on Instagram, they were messaging me. They thought it was funny too. So it was good entertainment.
Yeah. I got a couple. I sold a printer, a printer toner cartridge to Saipan. Is that how you pronounce that country? Saipan, Saipan. And it had a US zip code.
Huh.
So I'm like, that's not a US territory, is it? I'm pretty positive that's like Japan or something.
I think it is.
Oh, is it a US territory?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, well, I asked
and I'll look it up.
I didn't actually type that into Google. I just looked up the location on the map, and it was like farther than Hawaii. So,
yep, it is.
Okay.
1978, they joined the United States as part of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands.
Mariana. Okay, I thought maybe it was a military base or something that they had like a U.S. post office.
1986, they were granted U.S. citizenship.
Okay, so they must use the U.S. dollar. Let's go vacation there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I learned something new. That's the first time I've ever shipped something to there. The other customer service interaction I had this week was I was selling a bamboo fly rod with a fly reel on the bamboo rod. It was 3 pieces and it was handmade. And some guy sent me I was asking $50 for it because I couldn't find a single one on eBay. And I'm like, I don't know what it's worth. I'll just start at 50. So a buyer contacted me and said that this isn't bamboo and it isn't a fly rod. It's just a sugarcane pole that was handmade sugar cane. And he's like, if you look at the fly rod, the reel, he's like, it's just electrical taped onto a cane pole. He goes, somebody just made this for fun. He's like, but you shouldn't be advertising it as a bamboo fly rod. And so I'm like, I looked at the reel. I went out and did a bunch of research. They don't even sell for like $3. Like there's one like $6 free shipping on the reel. And the cane pole was actually missing a couple eyes. I'm like, you know what? I took it down off of eBay and I just threw it in the dumpster. It's like, I was pretty sure it wasn't worth anything. And I I was going to get a return if I did sell it. Like, I don't even know who would have bought it, but so I told him, I said, I threw it away because he kept telling me that this thing isn't even worth $10. Like he was, I don't know. He wasn't out of line, but he was passionate about my cane pole bamboo fly rod, letting me know that it was not what it was, which I don't mind it when customers point out if I've made a mistake rather than him buying it, for example, just to teach me a lesson or something, and then forcing me to pay for, I wouldn't return it. I think it was going to be like almost 60 inches long. The shortest segment of this cane pole was like 60 inches. It was, I was going to have to like tape together about 3 or 4 poster containers to make it fit in there. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw it away. I don't even want to sell it.
Not worth it.
So yeah. So that was my that was my customer interaction. Kind of funny. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. This is episode 20, actually. And I thought, let's celebrate episode 20. How can we get people to comment on our video? And I thought, you know what? I bought 3 of these 2-inch tape dispensers. This is made out of metal. It's not worth much, but if anyone that comments on a video this week, I'll randomly select one of them and I'll send you this tape gun. How about that? So if you just want an extra backup.
That's the nice one with the foam grip too. I see that. Ooh.
Yes.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. So what do they need to do? They need
just
to
comment. I don't know.
Okay.
If they don't have to subscribe, I'm more interested in viewers and subscribers, I guess, but just comment on one of our videos and I'll figure out how to randomly select one. I know there's websites out there that you can use.
Yeah. Random generator.
Yeah. So, but anyhow, close us out, Dennis.
Well, we have begun quarter 3, and you know what that means. We are inching closer to Q4, where you could sell anything on eBay. Q4 is my favorite. Q3 is kind of that, what are you going to do to prepare for that craziness, holiday rush, Christmas time, all the holidays, people buying everything. What are you going to do right now? Like if you're going to wait till October, you've already missed the boat. You're already way behind. Are you going to kind of store up on some inventory? Are you going to set goals for yourself? Are you going to set a quota? Like, I need to start making this. I need to start bringing in a whole bunch. I need to start listing. I need my store to be built up so when Q4 hits, I can sell a whole bunch of stuff. Now is the time to be thinking about those things. If you're experiencing summer slowdown, use that time. Use that time to list, a couple more each day. Bring in some more inventory each day. Get ready for Q4. Is my favorite time of the year. I love selling, in that quarter because for me, stuff just flies. So yeah, it's just that time of year where you should really be thinking of those things. I know I've learned these in the past, kind of how all the time goes by quickly and what I should be doing. For me in the Northeast, I don't have yard sales all year. So this is the time when I bulk up on inventory. I look like a hoarder in the other room with all of my inventory, but I don't care because I know I'm going to go through it all. I've learned in the past, you can't just run out in January and go to a thrift store and bring back 30, 40 items. It's not going to happen for me, at least. I can't go to a yard sale in February and, get a whole bunch of stuff. So prepare. You will have a great quarter 4. You will sell a whole bunch of stuff if you start right now.
I'll end on that. Thank you again to Stefany Fuson. Fuson.
Yes. Yep.
Not a lot of sin, just a few sin.
Just a few. You were great. I appreciate it,
right.
Stefany.
Yep. Thanks for joining us for sure. And with that, we'll bid farewell. We'll see you later, everyone.
See you guys.
Did you like the ending to the last show? Tasting the cookie.
Great views.
Yeah. I wonder what it was.
No, I don't know. There's no guest. I really think the thumbnail and title.
Don't do this.
I really think it was just like, don't do this. And people are like, what?
So I should put, do this.
make sure you do this.
Make sure you
Definitely do this.
Yeah. The follow up. Don't do this.